Hi guys, so this is the Weekend Gamer. I just realized that the last audio recording I did, you can hear a really loud fan in the background, and if you have, that is actually my Xbox refrigerator making all that noise in the background. So yeah, I banished the the Xbox refrigerator to the bathroom. So I guess when I'm sitting on the toilet, I can get a nice cool beverage or whatever. But it is no longer in the bedroom. Now I've entertained the thought of getting a mini fridge in my room just because I'm very lazy. I just don't want to go upstairs to go into the fridge. Now that I have the mini fridge in the bathroom, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom to get drinks. I don't know. It's just kind of like a minor inconvenience, but the fan on that Xbox refrigerator is loud. That is no joke. It is loud, and I've read online that people think, "Oh, it's not that loud." No, this fan is loud. I think the people that's saying that it's not loud, they must have the newer model, which has a quiet version or something, but not in my fridge. So my fridge is really loud. And as you know, I got my hand on an Xbox Series X. It is actually, of all the consoles, that is actually the one that I really wanted. I think if it came to it, if I saw a PlayStation 5 in stores, I would have bought the PlayStation 5. But because you can't find PlayStation 5 in stores, basically I ended up getting an Xbox Series X, and I didn't want the S, but now that I've gotten the X, I can kind of see where the S land, and the S is actually kind of like a very cheap entry into the Xbox ecosystem, and which meant that they're really, it's just like a Game Pass box. That's what it is. But if you want gaming modern games on a system right away for cheap, $300, and then you get like you pay $10 a month for Xbox Game Pass, and you're good to go, and you get hundreds of game at your fingertips, ready to go. So yeah, that I but again, I didn't want to go that route because I wanted the probably a faster system, which is the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. And even on paper, though, the X is actually a little faster, but it's kind of like splitting hairs. So anyway, I ended up getting an X, and you can walk into a Target. At least my Target had like 5 or 6 of them, and when I saw them on display for sale, apparently Target has these in the back room somewhere. And what they do is they keep it there, and they basically they use it online sales. So somebody will go online and they'll click to order, and then they'll sell those things, and they never put it on the floor at all. So if you're a casual shopper, you won't ever see these Xbox Series X. But for some reason, at my local Target, they decided to put it out on display. And when I saw it, I said, "Hey, can I buy that?" And then, so yeah, and then they actually said they had a PlayStation 5 too, but I didn't really inquire more about it. But I just ended up getting an X. And so as it is, I actually really love it. It's very fast, and I need a couple accessories, and so I'm kind of shopping for accessories on Amazon right now. So one of the biggest thing is the storage. It is very expensive. It's 1 terabyte for $220, but it's almost necessary. So if you want modern games to run off of the storage drive, this is like the best bet. You can get an external USB 3 hard drive, like an external hard drive, but that is only for storage. The games won't run off of the that external hard drive. It has something to do with the speed and the read write. In fact, actually, I think maybe older games will run off the external hard drive, but not not modern games, not like games meant for the Xbox X or the new Series S. So yeah, you do need an expansion card, and yeah, it is expensive, but you have to understand that this form factor is tiny. It's like an SD card. Now you remember when SD card came out for 8 MB? That was like super expensive, right? Nowadays, they're practically free. So you're getting a lot of storage on a tiny, tiny form factor, and this is just this card is no more than like 3 inches. It's like a memory card, basically, but much more storage. And with that kind of technology, yeah, you're gonna pay a little more. So I feel like it is expensive, and a lot of people complain it is expensive, but that's just how technology works. I'm hoping they bring the price down, like many things, but I kind of doubt it. I think this is gonna be like a standard price. Yeah, and then so the gaming remote control, or actually just a TV remote. I kind of had an old one for the Xbox One, and it's supposed to work with the new system. So I'm not really interested. And I actually never used it because what happened is it's like Bluetooth pairing, and it kind of sucks because every time you want to use the remote, you basically have to turn on the remote, and then the remote wakes up, and then there's a delay that goes to the TV, and so I don't really love it. I think it's just like a terrible implementation of the remote control. And I had a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation 4 controller, remote controller that was absolutely amazing. It's massive, it's huge, but it worked, and it worked all the time. You don't have to wake it up. It just worked. Yeah. So what else? So one of the things is, I guess, storage. Probably my next big purchase is gonna be another like the Seagate 1 TB storage. There is a 2 TB storage that's coming out that I think is even more expensive. It's like $400. It's twice as much. But if you're gonna pay $220 for 1 TB, if you pay, say, if it's 400, it's double the storage. You're paying twice as much, and it kind of makes sense that it's 400. But at $400, another another $100, you can get another Xbox Series X. And so I don't know, the value is quite there, because the Series X, say what you will, but if you break down the components and the parts, it's actually kind of, they're losing money on it, because custom CPU, custom motherboard, custom RAM, like DDR5 RAM, which is not even available to the PC. Well, I think they are, but not very many people uses this. My computer only has a DDR4, and so this is like a next generation thing. And then, of course, the storage, which it has 1 TB of storage in the Xbox Series X, which incidentally, PlayStation 5 doesn't even have a 1 TB. They have like 800, and then like you have even less storage to use, because some of that stuff is taken up by the system. So anyway, so you got 1 TB to use on the Xbox Series X, and so most of that money that you're paying is actually going to the storage, the next generation storage, which is like an NVMe base storage. It's super fast, and you notice it in games. When you load up games, things just loads up really fast, even from a cold start, versus in the past where things can take a few minutes to load, now takes seconds to load. So it's pretty amazing how fast the game loads. And the other thing about what you don't realize how great the Xbox Series X is that it has quick resume, which you just jump into different games, and it's pretty amazing. Like, you can just go one game to another, and it's as if you never left the other game, and it loads up instantly, and that's pretty amazing. And I know PlayStation 5 doesn't have anything like that. So I'm kind of glad I got a PlayStation or an Xbox Series X. All right, so one of the biggest thing is the rechargeable battery, or at least the disposable battery on the Xbox Series X controller, which admittedly is basically the same old controller that you're used to. It's not the next generation controller like the PlayStation 5 with its haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. But because it has adaptive triggers and various other implementation that you need on a newer games, the unfortunately like older games, the PlayStation 4, you can't use it's hard to explain, but you can't use a PlayStation 4 controller on a new PlayStation 5 game. Now, I know that sounds silly, like duh, it's a new system, you want to use the new controller, but if you already own a bunch of PlayStation 4 product, I feel like you should be able to move that into PlayStation 5 and still use the same accessories. Unfortunately, because of the way PlayStation or Sony decided to go in a different direction, where they make a new set of standards for a new controller scheme, unfortunately, it kind of destroy any backward compatibility when it comes to controllers. The Xbox size, they've been sticking to the same kind of thing, including disposable battery, which, at first I kind of think it was stupid, but as you play and you run out of juice on your battery, if you got a fresh pair of batteries, you just pop them in and you can continue playing, and it's not a big deal. Now, if you're conscious about throwing out batteries all the time, they do sell like rechargeable battery pack, and this is probably one I'm probably gonna get. So it's like $20 and you get two of them. And basically, you just like charge it while you charge one of them, and then you play with the other controller. And then when that juice runs out, you just remove the cover and put in a different pack. Or maybe it's actually charging through the back of this. This like a wire, like a connector back here. So you just like put it on a stand, and it charges your battery. Without you having to do anything. So it's kind of cool. So I'm definitely going to pick up some disposable or rechargeable battery. I'm probably going to try to do an Xbox branded, or at least, made from Xbox, because just quality. I feel like some of these are like these third parties. I don't know where it came from, and I don't know the quality that I'll get out of there. Sure, they're cheap, but I'd rather pay a little more, knowing that it came from Microsoft or a reputable company. So yeah, there's all sorts of battery packs that you can find. So they're all about $20. So it looks like that's a pretty good price. I'm sure you can find them much cheaper elsewhere. And controller. I am definitely thinking of getting another controller, or another Xbox Series X controller. And some of these special edition looks really cool. Like this is the 20th anniversary. It's kind of semi-lucent. It is a little pricier than the average controller, but I think because of the design and stuff, I think it's kind of cool. I'm gonna definitely pick up another controller. What else? Well, I don't know. Like, I'm not in a massive need for another controller, so I may wait for a sale or see what kind of deals I can get. Just shopping around. So, I'm definitely kind of looking at the Elite controller too, even though that is super expensive. It's like $200 or $180, and but it's you can do all sorts of stuff with it. You can like you have extra paddles and junk and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm definitely looking. So these are like advertisement. You can get lights on the bottom. I'm not really into that whole LED light strip or whatever. I'm sure if I really wanted to, I can get a $5 light strip and do this myself. I feel like whatever they charge you here, $39. Um, they are actually only spending like $5 to manufacture this light strip. I've seen these light strips for pennies, so it's very cheap, and it's just a USB connector. So you just plug it into the Xbox in the back, and then you can light it up. And I'm assuming that they charge you $40 because they cut the ribbon to, or the strip to, the exact same dimension. But I mean, you can do that. I think on a regular long one, you can just cut where you don't want. Well, anyway, so I think this is like a rip off. This $40 light strip. Vents. Actually, that's a good deal. $10 in vent, dust vent. I don't know. Kind of. I don't know. I probably won't get that. I don't know. I don't really worry about vent that much. I mean, the air's blown out. I don't know. More rechargeable battery. There's like 4 of them. This one. Headsets. I have plenty of headsets, so I don't know if I need another one unless it specifically has some great stuff that works with the Xbox Series X. And I think that's another thing that you should understand is that the Xbox Series X, the way they approach backward compatibility, particularly in their games, is great because every game from Xbox, the first one, to Xbox 360 to Xbox One to the current generation will work, or most of them will work on the Xbox Series X or S. And it's admirable that they did that. And they have the same approach with accessories. So if you have a headset, I think it would just work with the new system. I don't know. I got to test some of my other headset and see if it works. But I like that. I like that a lot. Unlike the PlayStation 5, where you can't use older controllers, I think that's ridiculous. Anyway, or I don't know. I just find PlayStation 5 and their approach is very anti-gaming or anti-gamer. I'll tell you another difference. The Xbox Series X, if you put they have something called smart delivery. So if you put in an Xbox 360 disc, it will read the disc and then it will say, "Hey, you're on a Series X. I'm gonna update this game to the X, and we can play this game absolutely free, no charge." It just works. On the PlayStation 5, the way they approach it is that if you put in a PlayStation 4 disc, it will say, "Hey, pay us $10 to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version." And I find that anti-consumer. I think that's ridiculous. You already bought the game the first time. Just let us play on the new system, even if it's from last generation. So the way the two company the way they see things is like, I feel like Sony is just out to make as much money as they can. And another thing, PlayStation 5 wants to charge you like $70, $69 for one of their games, like exclusive games. And that is just ridiculous. On the Xbox side, I think they're sticking with $50, I think, for now, or $60. And most of the first-party titles from Microsoft, like, for example, Halo, the new Halo game, is available practically for free on Game Pass. So Microsoft wants you to buy Game Pass and play kind of like a rent Halo Infinite and enjoy that game. And if you don't want to play it anymore, you just don't pay the $10 for Game Pass, and then you won't have access to it anymore. But um, but yeah, I mean, just the way that Microsoft approach things, where they want to sell you a service, versus Sony that just wants to charge you $80 for a game, or $70 for a game. It's just ridiculous. Well, anyway, so yeah, I did a lot of research between the two companies. Once I got my Xbox X, I just wanted to know, did I make the right choice? And just doing my research, it's just I just find Sony just kind of despicable when it comes to the way they treat gamers. Okay, so Xbox Series X is basically just bought Activision Blizzard, and they own Bethesda, and so on, so on. So there's a lot of talk about this, and the reason why is I feel like Microsoft wants to build up their Game Pass library. And so if they have Fallout, if they have Doom, if they have Diablo, StarCraft on Game Pass, then it's just such a great deal to pay that $10 a month for Game Pass. And I feel like that is actually the right way of approaching it. With PlayStation 5, if they buy a studio, they would just close it off, and you can only play it. Only play it on PlayStation 5. I think a good like The Last of Us 1 and Part 2, you can only play on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 for now. You can't play it anywhere else. And sure, that's how they get you to buy the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4. But at the same time, they kind of close off kind of like so many gamers that could be enjoying these games. Anyway, I don't know. Well, the good news is they are putting them out on the PC eventually. So I know that Naughty Dog, or not Naughty Dog, but I know God of War 4 is available on the PC. So you can get it on the PC after so many years of being an exclusive to PlayStation. So that's kind of cool that they're at least opening up to the PC market. And personally speaking, I am a PC gamer, so most of it. So, this looks cool. This is like a cooling fan but it has like a temperature reading, and I'm assuming it's like a USB. That's really cool. I don't know if I need to see the temperature all the time, but it looks like just a called G Story. What is that? So you put it over the vent, snap it in, power it up. High speed, low noises, intelligent cooling. I don't know if I have a cooling issue with my Xbox. It runs really quiet, so that's pretty awesome. How quiet it is. And I'm assuming PlayStation 5 is also very quiet as well. But man, well, what is this? It's like it's a monitor that you can attach to this. Well, anyway, that is kind of ridiculous setup. That is a ridiculous setup. But yeah, this temperature thing is cool. But again, I don't know if my Xbox Series X gets remotely hot, that I would need to monitor the temperature all the time. I mean, if you're, I'm assuming if you're one for temperature reading, you can, extreme, different lights. This is kind of cool. Does this require you to open it up? So anyway, yeah, I'm just shopping. So So what is this? You have to open it up. I don't know if I want to do that. I do I want to open up my Xbox? They give you all the tools. So I don't know. It's like $40. What is this? These dots, are they stickers? They give you a prying tool, and then the remote is, I'm assuming, to change the color. There's a board. There's like a DAC board or something, and then I guess lights and stuff, and then I guess it's all internal. That you have to plug it in. It's not like a USB power at all. It's actually kind of cool. I might think about this. It's like $40 though. I don't know how extreme I am, but that's cool. Let's see the ratings. Let me see. Void my warranty, but my Series X looks awesome. Okay. Pretty simple to install. I found that most difficult part was tearing the paper from the adhesive dots. Oh, so those the stickers are those dots. Then okay, change the battery. That fixed the issue. The remote didn't work, so the remote had bad batteries. So I contacted support, changed the battery. Most tools were included opening the. Okay, so yeah, this looks like a pretty good. Everybody seems to be loving this product. I mean, usually if I see like one that's like 1 star, does not work. Oh, on the Series S. Well, Series S, of course, it's not gonna work. This is clearly an X. Wow, God, some people stays on even when the console is off. I would have given it 5 stars. I think it's because the way the power works, and I think the remote, you can turn it off using the remote. So it's like an independent power source. I mean, I've used something like this before. I'm not surprised that it doesn't turn off, but I think the remote, you can turn it off in the remote. Let me see the closer look at the remote. Yeah, see, there's a power button on the remote here. This power button, that's how you turn it off. God, some people are just idiots. I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, I think I'm done shopping. Just my thoughts on PlayStation 5 versus Xbox. You know what? I think I normally buy both. To conclude, I normally buy both if I can. And with last generation, I did own a PlayStation 1. I mean, Xbox One and a PlayStation 4. And I own a PlayStation 3, or had until it broke. I originally owned a PlayStation 3 Fat Edition. And then that broke. It had a yellow light of death. And then I bought a PlayStation 3 that was redesigned. That wasn't great. But at the time that I got the PlayStation 3, it was kind of long in the tooth, and I noticed how slow it was, even the whole redesign. So yeah, and then I don't think I ever owned a PlayStation 2 or a PlayStation 1, but with Xbox, I owned the original Xbox 360, Xbox One. I guess I own all the Xboxes. But I was never, I never bought the digital stuff because I was more into the disc. I was a disc player. It was just something you're used to. You had a library of discs and stuff like that. And so I'm beginning to rethink the way I try to own games now. And I think I kind of prefer it digitally. It's just a very convenient to just launch it from the console without having to get up, put in a disc, and play it. I think Xbox did try to do a all kind of like discless version where I don't know, like they got a lot of backlash because it requires like a constant internet connection, and I think people just weren't having it. But we're just not ready. for that. And I think even at the moment, having the disc in there is very annoying. Now, if Microsoft finds a way where you put in a disc and you can prove that you own the disc. If let's say they offer you like a digital version, but at a massive discount because they said, "Hey, you already bought the disc. Would you like to own, like not own the, but would you like a license to like a digital version of it so that you don't have to put it in a disc every time you play it, and make it cheap, like make it like $10. Okay, $10 I think is a fair price because you already paid like $60 for the disc, and so think of it like paying that extra $10 will get you a deluxe edition, where the deluxe edition has a version where you can play, without the disc, like a discless edition or something. I don't know, but I think that's really cool. I think that's something they should think about. Sure, now I can maybe go back to GameStop and sell the disc, and I still retain my ability to play my game on a digital format. Sure, you can do that, but I don't think Microsoft is losing that much money because they already got you at $60. They got you again at $10. So even if you sell the disc version back and make probably $10. I don't think they're losing that much money. So anyway, so yeah, I'm done shopping. I want to get some of these stickers, these decals for the Xbox. I saw one that's really cool, like a Xbox Series X decal DC Comics. So I saw like a Joker one by Brian Boland that is really cool that I really want. So let's see. Okay, I don't see it anymore, but yeah, it's like basically the Joker by Brian Boland, and he's just like mad and laughing, and I love Brian Boland's art. I think he is one of the best artists that out there. Yeah, so they don't have any like George Perez art or anything, and the decal was really expensive because it's officially licensed, so it's like $30 for the decal. But you're already paying $500 for the system, paying $30 for stickers. I don't think it's out of the question or anything like that. But yeah, maybe they sold out on it because I don't see it anymore. But anyway, yep. So, thanks for listening.